Hello. Earlier today, I was twirling my stick here, as one does, and the sun was shining down upon me, and I could see my shadow. And I noticed that despite me sort of twirling it in a more spherical shape, you could say, when I looked at the shadow, it was only. What's going on now? It was only depicting a two-dimensional version of it. Like it would appear as a circle rather than the sphere that I was truly spinning it in. And I may or may not put a video of it that I took earlier somewhere up here. I don't know what I'm gonna do in the future. I'm here now, but it got me thinking about how the same information can be projected onto different surfaces. The surfaces in this analogy being us people, our brains, our perception. And depending on your level of dimensional awareness, you will only be able to see or understand a certain level of that information. Because in reality, as I said, I was spinning it like this, but the shadow could only depict a 2D reflection of what I was doing. That's just the nature of it. It can't change that no matter what I do. You'll only see it in a two-dimensional way when it's in that form. And I was having a discussion as well about substances and psychedelics and, a multitude of things. And it got me thinking about how psychedelics, or the word psychedelic comes from, well, it means mind manifesting, and how what you see or experience in a psychedelic, trip experience is only a manifestation of what's already in your mind. So if you're having, say, a bad trip, people call it bad trips, it's really just a suppressed or repressed memory that's in your mind, a fear, a past event, or something like that, that just comes to the surface because when you ingest this substance, your brain sort of releases all of the inhibitions that, stop it from seeing the full picture. You can't hide anything from yourself when you're under the influence of these substances. And it's the same way as when you are under the influence of that substance, you'll see things trailing, and you'll see, lights be brighter, and you'll see all sorts of things that look amazing, and you're like, wow, this is all a lot. But in reality, that's always there. It doesn't add anything to, reality. It only takes away the part of your brain that's blocking you from seeing that level of reality, because things are trailing. Lights are, brighter than we typically are able to see them with our normal everyday vision. But evolutionarily, we sort of evolved to, you know, see things a certain way because we were hunters and gatherers. And if you're trying to hunt like a saber tooth, you don't want to see things trailing. You want to see exactly where the saber tooth is at the moment so you can throw your spear properly and, do your thing, And that got me thinking about how it's really about what you place your focus on, what you place your attention on, that that dictates what you're gonna see in this reality. Two people could experience the exact same situation, could be presented with the exact same information, but depending on their level of dimensional awareness, those two people are gonna get a very different understanding of what they just saw. As another analogy, if I were to say, hey, I'm gonna walk to the store on my normal route, the route I go every time I go to the store, but this time I'm gonna set an intention to notice everything that I see that's blue. I could see the number of blue things that I see may have been the exact same that I would have seen yesterday, but because on this day I decided to set an intention to say, hey, I'm gonna focus on what's blue, then I'm gonna notice all sorts of blue things that I never would have noticed otherwise. So, what I'm trying to get at with this whole thing is it's very important to be intentional about where you place your focus, where you place your energy, where you place your mind. Because what you seek, you shall find. So, if you try to, or if you set an intention to, you know, gain wisdom from every experience you have, Everything you encounter, every experience you have, you will find some way to extract wisdom from it. If you place your focus on trying to find the love in everything that you see, then you will find love all around you. But it goes the same way for, negative or, lower vibrational energies. If you're having a disagreement with someone and your focus is on trying to prove that you're right and the other person is wrong, you could be presented with information that makes total sense, but because you are more focused on how you're right and the other person is wrong, you're only going to be able to see how the other person was wrong and how you were right, even if that's not necessarily the case. So, this all sort of boils down to, and I think I've said this already, but I'm going to reiterate, your intention and your focus and your dimensional awareness is very, very important. When you're able to see beyond the typical dimensions, beyond this physical 3D realm, and to see in levels and layers beyond what we typically perceive, then you're able to understand that above all, above everything we experience here, the most important thing to do is to focus on love. Is to focus on what you want from the perspective of your highest self, not the ego, wanting to be right all the time, not the ego wanting to, create fears in the mind, but instead focusing on what the universe wants for you, because that's what your higher self wants for you. And in the universe, your highest self wants nothing but to experience love. Love in every shape, in every form, in every facet that it's possible to. And that's why I feel it's so important to, if you don't do anything else, raise your level of awareness, raise your level of consciousness. Because with awareness comes the ability to see beyond what you typically see. You're aware of the multiple facets that make up our reality. You are aware when someone is acting out of love, or you're aware of when someone is acting out of fear. And I say awareness, you could say love, but I like to focus on awareness because I feel like with awareness comes love. Because a lot of times you'll have people who are trying to act out of love, and in their mind it is love, right? That's just what they believe love is. But they aren't aware of what true love truly is, so they may act selfishly or possessively, or in ways that aren't truly love, because they don't have the level of awareness required to understand that love isn't possessive. Love doesn't try to control or change anything. Love just lets things be and accepts things for what it is. Love sees beyond the typical surface level, what we experience in this daily life, and it sees into the higher dimensions of things. So all in all, the most important thing is to raise your awareness. When you are aware, when you are able to see beyond, then you can't be fooled by surface level illusions. You can't be fooled by the ego. You can't be fooled by things that are not for you. And even when it comes to, you know they're the people who you love the most, who try to dictate how you should be, how you should move about this reality, how you should live your life. You're able to see that, hey, I can see that this person, I know that they love me. I know that they're acting from good intentions, but they're not aware of the life that I lead. They're not aware of the path that I've chosen to walk. So while I do respect and love them, and I can see that they're not trying to harm me, they're only acting from the level of awareness that they have, I'm going to choose to go a different path. I'm going to choose to walk in my truth, without any disrespect to anybody, but of the utmost respect for you and everybody else. Because while it may hurt to lose people, while it may hurt to have people mad at you sometimes, it would hurt even more to abandon yourself and to end up living a life that you never wanted to live in the first place. We're here to be happy. We're here to be full of joy. We're here to love. We're here to express ourselves and to be who we are, who we were meant to be, who we were born to be. We, as the infinite, the source, infinite creation, we came into this experience in order to give ourselves challenges and to experience what it's like to have this limited 3D form while still having our consciousness and our minds aware and embodied in the infinite possibilities that we have available to us. So that's pretty much it. That's all I really got to say at this point. I just wanted to come on here and sort of just, I don't know, help raise some awareness, help, soothe if anybody has any, internal conflict going on, and just to remind you that you're on the right path. No matter what, just do you. Don't worry what anybody else thinks, because they aren't aware of what's going on in your mind and in your life. They may have a limited perspective on what's going on. They may give advice from their perspective and their experience and their, similar situations. But similar isn't identical. No one is having an identical experience as you. They can have a very, very similar experience. Like, it can be almost identical, but it can never be identical. Because you're unique. You're one of a kind. You're the only person walking your path. So walk your path, live your life, be happy, be joyous, be expressive, and just have fun. Because what else is there to do? Be all miserable and upset all the time? That ain't it, Chief. Thank you. I love you.